All right. Hello. Here we are. We'll give this a whirl. Last class it didn't work. All right. We give it a whirl, folks. Okay. So you have your quadrantal angles. You have your chart, and we're gonna get ready to rock and roll. Okay. So our first polar graph, right? It says r is equal to 4 sine theta. So we are legit just gonna substitute all these values in to figure out where our what ring or what is our radius length, okay, what that r value is. So our first one is theta is 0. So you're gonna write 4 sine 0, right? So you can look at your chart or your quadrantal angle, whichever you guys want to. What's the value for sine of 0? Brianna, what do you got there? 0. So this would just be 4 times 0, which is equivalent to 0. Okay, so how you would plot that on your graph, you're going to be at 0, but you don't go anywhere, so you just put a dot right there at the polar, right there at that middle pole. Okay. Okay, now we're going to substitute in the pi over 4. I'm going to switch colors just so that it alternates on here because it could get a little confusing. Okay, so 4 times the sine of pi over 4. So you legit just go right to your chart, Jake. What's the sine of pi over 4? Pi over 4. Radical 2 over 2. So now this one, when you reduce it, you get 2 square root of 2, which doesn't really help you guys out because you need the decimal. So you definitely would go to your calculator. You could type in 2 times the square root of 2 and tell me what you guys get. 2.8, right? Okay, so now you're going to go on the line that's pi over 4, right? So I find pi over 4, and I'm going to go just below ring 3, like radius length 3. So you want to go 1, 2, there's 3. I'm just going to go right under it. Remember to count that first ring, as that first circle. And you just put a dot, right? Now we keep going, right? So you're going to now go to your pi over 2. So 4. And this would be the work that you guys would show. You're just substituting it in. If you want to practice using your calculator, you could do that, but you have your chart. So the sine of pi over 2 is equivalent to what number? 1, right? Okay, so this you're going to go to your pi over 2 and then go up to 4, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's pretty cool. Now, obviously, we're not plotting every single point because you're going to see it's interesting what the picture creates. Okay. All right. Now we just keep going. Right. Now we go back to our pi over 4. It's 3 pi over 4. Now make sure you guys are mindful of what quadrant you're in. 3 pi over 4 is in the second, right? So sine is still positive. Okay. So is this answer going to be the same as the other one? Yeah, and you're going to notice that they're going to repeat a lot. So you can save some time, all right, so you show that, but then we know that this is going to be 2.8, right? But now remember, you're at 3 pi over 4, so you're in the second quadrant. We're here, so we're 1, 2, 3, just below. All right. Okay, now you're going to start to notice that these values are going to, I'll show you. Let's keep going, right? Let's go to pi. So 4 times the sine of pi, and when you look at pi, the sine of pi is 0. So this starts to repeat a little bit, right, as your first one. So you don't need to put a point because you already have that point. It's like right there. Whee! You're like, okay. Okay, now once you get past pi, you guys want to be careful, right? Because 5 pi over 4 is what quadrant? The point's going to end up being in the first, believe it or not. But this guy's in the third, right? So is sine positive or negative? Negative. So when you're doing, like, you're gonna look at the blue, because the blue will help you, because it's gonna be like the same work. But this angle, remember, is in the third quadrant. So this is gonna be 4 times the sine. So in the third quadrant, remember, sine's negative. So this guy is gonna be negative square root of 2 over 2. So it should be negative 2.8. So now, this is the interesting part. You guys want to remember that that's an R value, right? So my angle is 5 pi over 4, which puts me here. But the problem is my R is negative, right? So when your R is negative, remember you reflect through the pole, and I would actually end up back at my first point in the first quadrant, okay? So you don't have another point to like plot. It's the same point, okay? So it's a little weird. You're like, oh, okay. And same thing's going to happen, like, watch when you go to 3 pi over 2, right? 3 pi over 2. So 4 sine. Well, 3 pi over 2, the sine value is negative 1, right? So this is going to be 4 times negative 1, which is negative 4. But remember, when you get that negative R, these negative R values, I would be on 3 pi over 2, but the problem is I have to reflect through, so I end up back up here. Okay? And you might be wondering, what the heck is this shape going to produce? And this is where your calculator is going to help you, okay? Let's just finish off. What do you think is going to happen at 7 pi over 4? It's going to be the same thing that kind of happened here, right? This is in the fourth quadrant, so sine is negative. So this is going to be 4 times the negative square root of 2 over 2, okay, which is going to be negative 2.8. So remember, your R is negative, so I'm here, but now I have to reflect through, so I end up back there. Okay. And again, you guys can use your calculator, because once we get it set up, your calculator will be in radian mode. So when you get towards these ending ones, you can always check to make sure. Like, all right. So last one is going to loop back. Right? 4 times the sine of 2 pi. This should be 4 times 0, which is 0. Okay? So this is the weird thing when you guys do polar is you look and you're like, Ms. Sharp, we only have 4 points. What do they produce? And this is where you're going to use your calculator to help you, okay? So don't sketch it until I show you the Desmos, because that one looks a lot better. Wait do you see what it looks like on here? So let's get out of here. Let's go to mode, okay? Now you want radian. Okay, you want it to definitely be in radians. Now, you guys are always used to being on function. So now, if you notice, there's polar. And what it's going to do is it's going to change your y equals. So when you click polar, and now when you hit y equals, notice what it says. Now it says the R. And it's pretty cool. So now you type in 4 sine. And now when you guys hit the X key, it actually switches the X to a legit theta, which is kind of neat, you know? You're like, oh, that's why that's there. Yeah, it's kind of cool, like, for you to see, like, the other aspects of your calculator. So now, when you guys hit graph, this thing, it looks, I hate the way it looks on here, I do. It's like, ugh. It looks just like a circle, but it's, your window's not a nice window. So let me show you guys what it looks like on Desmos. You're gonna see, like, I just think it's like clearer. So when I go to Desmos, okay, in Desmos, if you guys have ever used it before, in settings, you can have a grid that's just like your coordinate grid, or you can actually switch it to polar, which is nice, okay? And you just make sure it's on radians, and then I'm gonna hit this guy and look at the picture that it looks like. So it's not like a complete circle, it's kind of like an ovalish, little picture, all right? And you did it, and then you just connect them. Nice job. Not bad? And you definitely use your calculator you need to kind of use it to see the picture. Okay, what you guys are going to do right now is you're going to do the other graph. It's 2 plus 4 cosine theta, it's letter B. Now I'm going to show you what this picture looks like. This one is one of my favorites, I do like it. I don't know why, but it's just a cool pic. Alright, it kind of looks like a little kidney bean with a little loop in there. Okay. I don't know how it looks on the calculator so much. I didn't check this guy out, but it will look similar. It's just like squishy, So you guys are going to work on, you're going to go to this guy. All right. And it's just plug and chug. Okay. All right. But make sure you're writing, like, show your work. I'm big on doing like 2 plus 4 times the cosine of 0. I'll do the first one with you. This should be 2 plus 4, so it should be a 6. You should get that. Okay, so like 0, 6 means 0, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all the way out. Okay, so have fun. All right, you guys will work on this guy. Let me